I'm back, dreamers. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be back. I'm glad that I was able to get this out. Um, my apologies. Welcome back to the Mystic Escape. I'm your host, Dion Mystique, amateur writer, and we are going to continue with the next section of Chapter 2, Transcendence. Please follow along with me as I read. The link to the FictionPress document, which by the way has been updated and corrected, is in the description below. Okay, if you want to follow along with me. Now before we get into this, I'm going to ask that all of you get situated, chill out, get comfortable, get you a sippy, a munchy, smoky, whatever you do to calm down and get right back to me, okay? Now, I'm not forcing you to listen to this, but I would like for you to get comfortable. It's all about love here at the Mystic Escape. So we're going to pause the video right now. Pause it. All right. Ooh, right when my little song ended. Anyway, dears, we're going to go right ahead into this, okay? And I do apologize that I went over my 50-minute limit in my last video. I apologize for that. I get so into character that sometimes I lose myself, so I apologize. But I'm going to just read it and not do too much characterization or too much explaining. I'll just leave that up to you to give it a little bit more mystery. All right? All right. But if you have any questions, ask me in the comments below, or whatever you decide. You can email it to me if you don't understand something or anything like that. And here we go, okay? All right. As expected, the phenomenon that shook Fiorentina was immediately reported to the local authorities. Several innocents were injured during the fray, and some even lost their lives. This devastation is due to the night's influences that transcend the borders of Purgatorio, affecting the living world on a varied scale. Upon first sight of the chaos, the authorities are awed, at a complete loss of words. Such a thing happening, it should be impossible. People don't just die without a reason, without warning, without a natural or medical cause. Death does happen, yes, but the methods witnessed in the real world, they make little sense to the citizens of Fiorentina. Not like they have much of it to begin with. Not even the most trained of professionals, most trained professional, excuse me, can find a solution to what happened. That is, unless one counts those who know the truth. The Knights, the Resolute Brotherhood, and their nemesis, the Order. They know the truth about what's happening in their city. The harsh reality that is Fiorentina. Its very existence is taboo. A thing of selfish desire that can't truly be called a hometown. It's much too chaotic here. The people in constant self-inflicted trouble, the environment susceptible to all manner of influence, this world, this reality, just like any other of its ilk, it is a transient thing that is more dead than it is alive. It's walked upon, trashed and littered, destroyed bit by precious bit. The people of this world have little concern for it, now that convenience is the norm. A selfish world overrun by selfish people. This is the current reality. Uh-huh. Fortunately, even in this world, there are still those who value the earth, those who appreciate the many gifts it gives and wishes to preserve it. At the moment, such an individual lounges on a balcony, seated on an ornate, reclined patio chair, strumming a soothing melody on a personalized guitar. The musician's song. It sounds uplifting but mournful all at once, unnamed and enigmatic, yet vivid enough to capture one's heart with a single strum. Unfortunately, the musician's song comes to a sudden pause, his eyes filled with the grimmest realization. Someone just died tonight. No, several people. Just what this city needs. More bloodshed. The musician, a young man whose presence is dark, foreboding yet alluring, gazes up at the silver moon with virtually frightening eyes. Through the rivers of raven that ride his broad shoulders, one could look into the reptilian contacts upon his eyes and see the coldness occupying his soul. An apparent punk enthusiast, but behind his aesthetics lies the most beauteous shadow that goes unseen by all about him. His heart, jaded yet willing, mourns the current losses in obscurity. The predatory knights, they have died for their master yet again. He senses, confessing his affiliation with the war between the Order and the Brotherhood. Nyachi, Kwanshe, Lenmon. We were so close once upon a time. But now, after accepting our allegiances in our coming of age, what are we? Enemies? Rivals? Marionettes operated by word of mouth? I wonder. And though my tears dried long ago, I cry, I weep. I hurt so very much. See you again, my goodness, in another reality. A knock comes from the darkness beyond the opened doors at his side. Turning him to his right, he sees a young lady donning a nightgown, further secured by a decorative bathrobe. The resemblance is uncanny. One could tell they are blood related with a single glance. Only her hair bears a lighter auburn shade. Her eyes, coupled oceans of the most enchanting hazel, seem more bold than his, and their glow serves well in complementing her elegant character. You've been playing that tune since this morning, Marcello. Your newest masterpiece, I presume. Her acknowledgement turns the musician's head away. With little effort, she's revealed the humanity of Marcello, a bashfulness likened to those who've been sheltered for many years. This is Marcello and Giovanna, like I said before. I miss your concerts, little brother, she admits, revealing their relation and touching a soft spot in Marcello's heart. How you would strum your guitar, how you'd sing your heart out. Oh, you shone so much brighter then. I'm not saying you aren't a beacon of brilliance now. We sanatoria in our charisma, priceless. I hate our surname. It has brought us nothing but heartache. Marcello's reply delivers a serving of the sweetest cruelty, coated with depression, a sorrow that is instantly understood and pitied by his elder sister, for she too has suffered due to bearing the sanatorian name. Because I bear this blood, I cannot sleep without feeling the stigma of the Order and their supporters. Marcello reflects, gazing upon his opened left palm with eyes broken by emotion. It is not that I hate my family. I love all of you. You're all I have. But I wish it were not like that. We cannot even have associates without them harboring some kind of hatred towards us. Yes, we're the bad ones, the people who actually want to live decently away from an anarchy-bound community. Fiorentines are so contradictory. They want to live recklessly and complain when things turn sour. Mental problems out the ass. Let's see. The keenest comment indirectly made towards her fellow citizens. This sharp young lady's perception doesn't miss a single angle. Marcello tries his best to contain his laughter to a mere hum in respect to the seriousness in her statement. She notices this and smiles, remembering his wry sense of humor. You were always like this, full of giggles, and we have our grandmother to thank for that. She recognizes before gazing dreamingly at the celestial ocean above. She always did say life is strange and full of laughable moments, and she was right. People are ridiculous, but I cannot put stupidity past we sanatoria. Truth be told, we can be pretty awkward ourselves. She ain't lying, though. Equalist, a suitable term that describes Marcello's elder sister to a T, an admirable trait that adds quality to her noble character. Though he would never admit it to her, Marcello admires his elder sister's view of society, and his adult-like maturity is due to being in her company. He thanks her thousands of times a day in silence, disallowing a single word from escaping his lips. Giovanna, how are things going with you and that Ugo person? He queries, receiving an arched eyebrow for his troubles. It's not a secret to her. Giovanna knows her little brother disapproves of her fiancé, a young billionaire in league with the city's aristocracy. Not a flinch of humanity was in his query, as it was delivered with apparent aversion. Is he treating you well? About as good as any filthy rich baller with an ego the size of the planet. More or less, I suppose. But he has not broken my heart yet. That is what you're asking. Giovanna didn't mean to respond with a death of scorn in reference to her significant other, the billionaire Ugo Manzini. She truly loves him, but despite her affections as of late, she's noticed something different about him. Instead of confiding in Marcello, Giovanna chooses to keep her concerns silent, for she knows how deeply her brothers despise Ugo. Unfortunately, Marcello can read through her silence, as he too possesses a connection with the Haley Dome that makes such empathy possible. I will not stand here and make you sound like a weak, helpless damsel in distress. I, as well as the rest of our family, know just how strong you really are. It is strange, though. It's just an hour ago. I did not recall that memory. Then, just moments ago, it was suddenly branded into my mind, where it continues to take refuge. Giovanna, do you think our allies, and maybe someone from our family, came to a resolution just recently? He's where he remembers, and so does she. The curiosity of a young man attempting to find his place in a dying world. Giovanna, who is a year older than him, can't help but admire his hunger for knowledge. Unfortunately, she's unsure herself, so there's no way she can reply to such a question. Are you all right, big sister? Oh, Oh, yes, I'm fine, and I do not know Marcello. Really? Damn it. How bothersome. It is not like you to swear. You're starting to sound like father. Yeah, well, mother always says father's genes are dominant. That is why the rest of us look like him, but you couldn't deny mother even if you wanted to. Hey, hey! You do not have to sound so sarcastic about it, asshole. This too was also done by mistake. Giovanna is normally more calm than this. She can't help but laugh at herself for losing her patience with Marcello. Hell, after comparing Marcello to their father, she repeated the gesture in her own way. So while she may look like their mother, Giovanna has their father's short temper. For her troubles, Giovanna receives her little brother's smile as he admires the side of her for its strength. That is, unless he's at the receiving end. Anyway, this reality is kind of boring, especially since nothing happened here, Giovanna mentions, earning an agreeing nod from her younger brother. Hmm. I mean, yes, the technology is nice and all, but I am more of an action of a relaxation type. If I am not active enough, I become stir crazy. Yeah, I remember. So, what are you going to do? I do not know, but a little sparring match would be nice. Sparring match? You were always into stuff like that. Marcello's wise statement serves well in annoying his elder sister, but his laughter helps her realize his angle and, in a way, accept it as well. It's true, Giovanna is a tough young lady who enjoys polishing her martial arts, her martial skills, or behaving like an archetypical madame. While still classy and mature, above all, Giovanna is a warrior coupled with a halidome, a knight just like her father and brothers. But will say this. You're one awesome person, and I am glad you're my sister. Marcello proudly admits seeing a window of opportunity for such a statement. Oh, and why did you steal my bathrobe again? Giovanna blushes and turns away with feigned demure character. Because of the super snuggles, plus your robe always smells like springtime flowers. Any person could tell from the look on Marcello's face that he wasn't expecting that sort of answer from her. Sure, Marcello takes great care of his clothing, but that's no excuse to snatch his bathrobe without permission. At the moment, he's unsure whether he should be angry with Giovanna for touching things that don't belong to her or cool over her charming personality. I will put it back on my way out, she declares, charming her younger brother with a smile. And I will even extend a little challenge for tomorrow. A sparring match, me against you. What do you say? Always striving to be the alpha female knight. But I guess it would not hurt, considering I'll be facing my equal. Marcello props his guitar against his chair and stands up, stretching his muscles after an hour of reclining. Time is unceasing and ephemeral. Long story short, the midnight hour has arrived. What's a pain? It is already that time. Let's see. Marcello jests before facing his sister with serious eyes. Oh, and since I admire my awesome madame so much, I cannot take it easy on you. Sparring or not, I expect excellence from you. Beauty is not in a battle without passion. Beauty? That is rather uber poetic. Do you not think? My Helidome is a lover of combat, and I just so happen to get kicks from good fights myself, but I do not go looking for them. So when I do fight, I fight for real. No underhanded tricks, no cutting corners and no holds barred. But while I love a good fight, I exercise restraint as well, unless a situation that calls for lethal force arises. If you know what I mean. Giovanna is well aware of what her baby brother is implying. He's not going to hold back when facing her. As knights, leniency is a sign of disrespect, especially towards equals and superiors. The same can be said against juniors, considering motivation is needed to become stronger. However, such treatment is more common in this case. Marcello, in this situation, is his sister's equal, but she holds several months of experience over him, so she's slightly more accomplished as a knight of the Brotherhood. I know the time will come when we must dirty our hands with blood. Marcello accepts, his fingers shaking at the thought of taking another's life. Still, as a knight, he mustn't waver. So, it's with a hardening heart that he furthers his acceptances. I know I have had to do it in another life, but in this one, the thoughts of killing a man staggers me. It is confusing. I want to fight seriously with you, but I'm afraid of doing something as simple as that. It does not make sense, almost in a way that cries schizophrenia. And that is because, in another reality, you were the only one that could not bring yourself to kill. Because you have not succumbed to your inner demons. Not even once, never. In all his life, and probably in every reality, never before has Marcello heard his sister speak with such pain. From the way she holds herself, her body trembling with disgust, anyone could perceive the shame she feels. Giovanna is undoubtedly guilty of committing numerous murders in every reality for the sake of the Brotherhood. It can only be concluded that she never truly meant to deal a killing blow, but there have been times where it had to be done in order to survive. You are not like us, Marcello. You're different. She ignores her former sins that transcend existence well enough to return her attention to him. And this is actually something that you need to pay attention to. Because see, she's about to say something to him that she doesn't really know that much about. So pay attention to that. You'll find out what I mean later. You're the youngest of the Brotherhood. Not a single child was born after you, so you're the only one. The only one who can honestly say that your heart hasn't been blackened by death. You see, Marcello, people do not understand what it means to be dead, nor have they ever felt its emptiness, how cold it makes the soul. We have died many times in many different ways, always being reborn in another reality, a cruel concert of transient lives doomed to dance in endless waltz until one side concedes. Until there's no longer a resolution to be made. You're one of a kind, baby brother. A knight that has died, but has never administered death to another. No matter how jaded your heart may be, you do not have the drive to kill another. No matter how jaded your heart may be. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a repeat. Does that make you a good person? Perhaps, but even good people have killed someone in some way before. You do not have to take a person's life in order to kill them. There are other ways. The innocence in his eyes. Marcello understands his elder sister, and she's absolutely right. He's never killed anyone before. Despite being capable of doing so. He is indeed one of a kind. The Knights of the Brotherhood and the Order are unhinged, ruthless killing machines who harbor no biases when locked in mortal combat. Should one be misfortunate enough to be caught in their crossfire, to them, it's no loss. All casualties will be reborn in, or continue to exist in another reality. Though they're fully aware of their allegiances, knights operate lifelessly and without restraint when they reach their killing state, but fortunately, Marcello still retains a sense of will in the heat of such emotions. He may very well be the heart of this war if given the chance to blossom completely. I just want the killing to stop, Giovanna, in this and every other reality. To hear such innocence and humanity from a knight? In truth, such words are virtually unheard of, especially when the tides are constantly shifting for enemies and allies alike. Marcello gazes at the Fiorentine heavens above, realizing that in this and any other reality, his desire to bring an end to death is unachievable. Doing so would require the restoration of morality itself, which is impossible when considering Fiorentina's current state. So even the thought of such simplistic, immature talk is laughable to him. No, such a thing is impossible. Humans are demons, disciplined or not, he admits, realizing the error in his former statement. It is realistic to strive towards harmony, but attempting to make such a desire true for others is delusive. Society wishes for peace, but the peace they desire is unrestricted mayhem for all. One nation under contradiction, united by insecurity and insipid dissatisfaction, believe in fairy tales in the name of selfishness, yet discard them for carnal exceptions. Call the man with blood on his hands a saint, and call the man bearing water and loaves a sinner. It is a headache, but no matter how hard I wish for a world where we can live in peace, I know we will probably never be able to rest our heads. We will always be fighting. We will never find happiness. Just more blood, more death, more pain. She wishes she could feel the same, but Giovanna is much unlike her younger brother. Her heart has been jaded to the point that she has abandoned any hope of achieving common ideals and human realities. They mean nothing to her. Knighthood has crafted her mind, body, and soul into a killing machine, though she still holds respect and concern for those who have found a place in her heart. Should the opportunity arise, she's the type of person who would discard even these feelings that retain her phantoms of humanity, no matter how deeply this may hurt her. People would call our kind crazy, deranged, or some common term because of our viewpoints and grasp on reality, she says, taking an innocent shot at Marcello's sentiments for his benefit. You are one of us too, and you're still green. That's good. Stay that way. But do not let those feelings become your weakness. Instead, let them become your strength. If you can, never kill anyone, because once blood is on your hands, it is hard to just remember those sensations. The sight of it, the smell, The way it feels, how it tastes, how it sounds when it hits random surfaces. I have sensed it all. I am no cannibal, but I can tell you it tastes like shit. There is nothing more disgusting than getting blood in your mouth or on your skin. Oh, and especially in your hair. For girls like me, it is the worst thing ever. Marcello's unsure how he should respond to such confession, considering his sister is normally more feminine and demure than this. It's almost as if she's adopted a totally different personality. Her eyes have become somewhat darker and her expressions seem cold, almost polar in appearance. Despite this deathly facade, Giovanna's smile returns, beaming brighter than before. So, try not to become a demon. Once your helidome tastes blood, it will adopt a killer's instinct. You too will do the same, okay? Giovanna departs without another word, only a merry hum that sounds almost familiar to Marcello. She returns her brother's bathrobe to his closet as promised, before exiting his bedroom for the night. In the moments that pass thereafter, Marcello is left spellbound by what Giovanna told him about killing and what it does to one's halidome, the chain reaction. To think that he too would become a knight that kills, it almost makes him feel as if his blood is freezing. He holds his arms and closes his eyes, attempting to envision something besides bloodshed. Unfortunately, no matter how much he ignores it, he can't help but sense it fuming from every corner in his hometown. Fiorentina, she is definitely not a pleasant city, nor a place one could proudly call their home. With these cruelties in mind, Marcello sheds a tear of hope. I cannot even attend class without feeling like another person is game. When will we finally be able to have a decent life? And that is it for this portion of chapter 2. You've just been introduced to Marcello and Giovanna. A very interesting little brother and sister section right there. I'm going to end right here. RCS, please, and I will be back with the next portion of chapter 2, which may not be too long, but considering the length of this story, this chapter, I'm going to have to separate it into different parts, like I said before. So just bear with me and look forward to this video within the hour or so. All right, my dreamers. And I didn't know I didn't say it in my last video, but remember, be free, be open-minded, and love each other. Blessings. See you in a few.